On this episode, I'm going to discuss The Bat and the Weasels, another story in the Aesop's Fables series. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is R.E. On this episode, The Bat and the Weasels, another story in the Aesop's Fables series. Get straight into it. So once there was this bat. The bat fell to the ground and was caught by a weasel. The weasel was going to eat and kill the bat. The weasel was hungry, but the bat was begging to be let go. Love the talking animals and this stuff. The weasel said he couldn't let him go because he was an enemy of all birds on principle. Makes sense? The bat responds, the clever bat, the cunning bat, "Oh, but I'm not a bird at all. I'm a mouse." The weasel responds, "So you are. Now I come to look at you." I guess the weasel decides that the bat is actually a mouse and not a bird at all, so the weasel lets the bat go. Some time goes by, and the bat gets caught again by another weasel. The bat begs for its life, using the mouse excuse like the last time, thinking that would work. But this weasel says, "No, I never let a mouse go by any chance." The bat responds, "But I'm not a mouse, I'm a bird." And the weasel says, "Why, so you are," and he let him go. Very interesting. And the moral of the story, look and see which way the wind blows before you commit yourself. This is a very interesting and very weird story. And again, in all the Aesop's Fables stories, I love the talking animals. It's obviously very unrealistic. I don't think these animals are going to be able to communicate cross species, but that's a whole nother story. Look and see which way the wind blows before you commit yourself. I think another example, another saying that goes in line with this is go with the flow of life. And this going with the flow and seeing which way the wind blows really helps save the bat's life twice in these life or death situations. How can this story actually be applied in our own lives? One way can just be saying things to appease our audiences, kind of shape-shifting and morphing. And we see this in our politicians as they kind of say whatever they want to please other people, and they'll flip-flop on their opinions, and that's just one way. But in this situation, shape-shifting, the bat was both a bird and a mouse simultaneously, no matter how much that doesn't really make sense. Another lesson that I take away from this story is that perception is everything. The weasels couldn't tell the difference. They couldn't actually tell what the rat was. And also another thing is that you can be whatever you want. You can be whatever you want because it's all in perception. I know that might sound a little woo-woo, but that's what it is. And it honestly could help in some situations to be cunning, to be a trickster, if it's going to help save your life. You don't want to apply this into a place where you're going to be tricking other people, but you want to look and see which way the wind blows before you commit yourself to an idea. And it's a lot harder to go against the wind and go against the grain. I'm not saying that you have to go with the wind all the time, but you want to know which way that wind's blowing before you commit yourself. So if you're going against the wind, you at least know that beforehand. But going with the wind, going with the flow could be life-saving, as in the situation with the bat and the weasels, where the bat saved his life twice by, quote-unquote, seeing which way the wind blows before he committed himself. And be aware of the situation you are in. Everything is so context dependent in life these days. And yes, the bat and the weasels. I hope you enjoyed the story like I did.